Ladies and Vaproshkis. Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet, and chubby. Look at this little chubby boy. I'm a little chubby boy. I've just been bulking. I have just started cutting, so 10 weeks from now I should be a little less. Look at this gorgeous little chubby face. Anyway, this is the Kill You're in a Loser show. Let's fucking go. So I'll give a bit of context for this one. This is going to be a little bit different today. We're going to do something a little bit fun, a little bit chill, a little bit kind of cool. I want to sort of answer some questions about you guys, my audience. And for context where this is all coming from, I have a Ukrainian friend, Ukrainian mate, and he got me this cool little card game thing. He went, back home a couple of months ago before all the, current bullshit. And he got this card game for me. And there's a bunch of different cards, and it's basically a relationship game. So you're supposed to play this. He got this for my girlfriend Imogen and I, and there's just a bunch of like little cards in there. And each one has a question that you're supposed to ask your partner, and then they will ask you the question back. I'm going to do a separate video on a lot of these questions because they're fucking amazing questions for those of you who are in relationships. And on that note, I'm going to be doing a lot more relationship content over the next 6 months, year, 2 years or whatever. I'm moving more in that direction. But some of the questions are things like, name 3 strengths that your partner has. Great fucking question. If your partner was given the opportunity to live 3 more lives, what kind of person would they be? Holy fuck, that's a good question. What is your partner's love language and how do you speak their love language? Another great fucking question. And which books has your partner read most recently or is currently reading? So the questions get you to sort of open up with your partner, with your in your relationship. And Imogen and I have a fairly fucking open relationship. We're pretty, communicative. But these questions, man, these are just like really deep, brilliant fucking questions. And they're all in different sort of categories. And one of the categories, and these are all the ones in red, pretty little red ones here, there's a big fat stack of them here because they're all questions about children, as in your children, in your relationship. Now, I don't have children. Imogen and I don't have children. For those of you who don't know, I've had a vasectomy and I don't ever plan on having children. But we were sort of going to throw these questions out. And Imogen jokingly said like, well, you don't have any children, but you have your coaching clients and maybe your audience. Maybe they count as children. And I was like, haha, very funny. They're all adults, right? That's very patronizing. Don't be silly. But I started going through the actual questions of looking at them. And I was like, oh, some of these I could actually answer if I substitute the word children for my audience or like you guys. And so I thought it'd be fun to go through some of these questions. You're going to get a very deep insight into how I think as a content creator, how I think as like, the guy that's trying to help you change your life. Some of these apply more to my coaching clients in particular, but I'll still make it interesting for you guys. But yeah, going through these, they're very fucking interesting questions when I apply them to you guys. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with this shit. You're going to get some insight into, the direction of my coaching, some of the stuff that I think about that I maybe don't tell you because I'm just doing it. Things like how do I figure out what content I'm going to talk about, or how do I try and be the best influence on your life that I possibly can? These are things that I think very deeply about, but I haven't, you're not ever going, unless you specifically ask me the question, and I will always answer questions, I do AMAs every now and then, but unless you specifically ask me a question like, hey Andy, how come you talk about this topic and not this one? Unless you specifically ask me the question, I'm not really ever going to talk about that stuff. It's just not going to come up. So these questions are all like meta questions, if anything, about my coaching, about my YouTube, about my forums, about my articles, about me, about how I'm trying to help you guys, what I think about you guys. A lot of these questions are basically like, do you like your children? And then, the question would be, do I like my audience? It's like, fuck yeah. So we'll go through these. We'll have a bit of fun with this. I'm not sure how long it will take me. I have a stack of like 20 questions here, maybe 30. I think we'll just go through them. If this is interesting, I'll keep going. If it's not, maybe I'll cut bits out. Maybe I'll stop, but we'll get straight into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the questions out. I'm not going to show them on screen or anything like that. I'll just read them out. And then I'll kind of freestyle. So some of these I've read, some of them I haven't. And we're just kind of going to freestyle and see how we go. So the first one is, do your children, does my audience, do you guys have any goals or dreams, and how do I support you in realizing those dreams. So do you guys have any goals or dreams, and how do I support that? That is a great fucking question. And obviously the answer is like, of course you guys have hopes and dreams or goals and dreams. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. This is a self-improvement channel. Most of the content that I talk about is getting laid or getting a girlfriend, but we cover other topics like depression, mental health, business, stuff like that. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that content in the future. For those of you who are in my coaching programs, you know that most of what I talk about isn't just getting laid. I'm now really starting to branch out with that. I've done a couple of podcasts only for my coaching clients, and a lot of that shit is like mental health, enlightenment, inner peace, making friends, business, all that kind of stuff. So do you guys have goals and dreams? Fuck yeah, so you wouldn't be here. Most of you are here because you want to get laid, and then eventually you want to start a business or something like that. But the way that I can sort of summarize all of that is you're here because you want to be happy, or you're here because you want more, or you're here because you don't want to be complacent, or you're here because you know you have potential that's untapped and you want to get to that. You're here maybe because you're unhappy and you want to fix that. So it's not just like, oh, I want to get laid or I want to make money. It all ties into, at the end of your life, you want to be able to lie on your deathbed, metaphorical deathbed, and be able to say that you did everything you could. That's why most of you are here. On that topic, I want you guys to leave a comment below and tell me if what I just said resonates with you, or tell me if there's like a different reason you're here. But I suspect most of you, as in here on my channel, I suspect most of you are going to say something along the lines of, I'm here because, yeah, you nailed it. I don't want to get to the end of my life and wish I could have done more. I don't want to have regrets. I want to know I gave it a good shot. As for the second part of that question, how do I support you guys in realizing them? Well, that's like everything I'm doing, right? Like coaching, YouTube, articles, podcast. By the way, on that topic, for those of you who only watch the YouTube channel, I also have a Spotify podcast where I do like completely different, it's like similar topics, but I do completely different content. It's like extra content. So I do different podcasts and shit like that. I also have a website, a blog, killyourinnerloser.com. I write different articles to what you'll see on the YouTube. So, go and check those out if you haven't already. Describe a child who you would say is well behaved. So I'll rephrase that to describe an audience member I would say is like well behaved. I don't like the term well behaved there because that implies some form of like authoritarianism or like I have to tell you guys how to behave. The vast majority of you are very fucking polite, very intellectual. You write very smart comments. You'll probably notice in my channel, in my YouTube, there's not really any stupid comments. When I say stupid, I mean ill thought out, like one sentence, flippant, silly, meaningless comments. I mute all those people. So there are a lot of people that watch my content and leave a lot of comments that none of you will ever see. And I don't even see them anymore because you can mute someone so their comments never show up. So I tend to filter out anyone who says anything negative. I just mute them or block them. So pretty much all of you guys are like very intelligent, very positive. I mute anyone who's negative. We don't let those people on my forums, our forums either. I would never let them in my coaching program or have them on my blog or any of that. So you guys are very intelligent, very hardworking. And in terms of, if I was to say what are the qualities of a perfect audience member, so to speak, it would be you take action. That's it. Take action. Be humble enough to take like feedback and shit like that and just do shit. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be like an alpha male or any of that shit. Just as long as you're doing something, I would call that perfect audience member. So don't just consume my content. There's no point you just watching it to feel good. That won't really make you feel better. You have to actually do something with what I tell you. How much has the way you were parented affected your own parenting style? So let's rephrase that to how much has the way I was mentored affected my own mentoring style? So most of the people that, terrible sentence, let's start again. Most of my self-improvement came from Good Looking Loser, a fair bit from Caleb Jones. He used to be known as Black Dragon, little bits and pieces from Mark Manson, a tiny bit from Jordan Peterson, a little bit from my father, bits and pieces here and there. Who have I missed? Mark Manson, Caleb Jones, Good Looking Loser, those guys, like mainly those guys. And all of them had a very fatherly sort of mentoring style or way of talking or way of coming across. Maybe a better way to say that would be a very like caring in a masculine way. They give a shit about you. They're not afraid to tell you the harsh truths and yell at you when you need that. But I never got the feeling that Chris, like Good Looking Loser, was disappointed in me or mad at me or any of that. The way he talks is very like uplifting, like an older brother or a father. Caleb Jones can be like that, though he can be a little more blunt sometimes, but I can tell that it comes from a really fucking good place. Mark Manson is the king of being very nice. He will sometimes yell at you, but he's very paternal. And so I try and get a lot of that across in my own coaching, in my own articles, in my own YouTube videos like this one. I try and lift you guys up as best I can. You'll notice I'm almost never negative. I try my hardest to never be negative. You guys don't need to hear that. And I don't really like to be negative in my own life anyway. You guys would all benefit from being as least negative as possible. Negativity doesn't really help you. So yeah, I try and channel those guys through myself. I try and be uplifting. I try and be that sort of like paternal father figure. I try and be the guy that tells you that everything will be okay, which is exactly what Caleb Jones gets across. It's exactly what Good Looking Loser used to get across. It's very much what Mark Manson gets across. All three of them, if you could distill all of your content down, it would be like, you're okay, and if you just keep making changes and keep taking action, you're going to make it. I got that sense from all of them. You're going to make it. And that's very much my sort of mantra as well. It's, if I could do this, you sure as hell can too. So yeah, I channel all three of them through myself. On a 10-point scale, how would you rate how close you are with your audience? I'd say I'm really close with you guys, but I could always be closer. And it's hard. The bigger your audience, the harder it is to be close to someone. And at this point, by the time this video comes out, we'll only be over like 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think on Spotify, I have like another 3,000. My blog gets, I don't know. I'd have to go and look it up. 6,000 people, unique people a week, roughly. So whatever all that is, obviously there's going to be overlap there, but let's say there's like maybe, I don't know, 10,000 people, probably less than that, maybe that. 10,000 people in total that follow my shit. It's hard to be as close as you would like with all of those people. I get a lot of emails where I answer every single email, but it's funny because you'll get like this long email with like 10 paragraphs. Oh my God, Andy, I've changed my life. Thank you so much for your content. I've done this. I lost weight. I have a girlfriend now. I've started a business. I've done all this. You read all that and you're like, man, this is an entire human being who has changed their entire fucking life. Like, this guy has an entire story. He has a beginning. Like, he went through hell. He's done this. I wish I could sit down and have a beer with him, but logistically, that's just not possible. And, you know, I write a few paragraphs back. I say, like, I really fucking appreciate you sharing this. Thank you. Like, this means a lot to me. I want you to go out and do this. Hey, work on this next. Here's a bit of advice. Go out and crush it. But every single email I get from those people, I'm like, man, like, I wish this person could be my friend. You just don't have the time to do that. I will say in my coaching groups, I'm a lot closer to the guys in the group because there's only, you know, like 15 people in the group program at any one point in time. And so it does feel like I can connect a little better there. But yeah, it is one of the things that I wish you could. I don't know if there's a solution. I don't know how. When you get enough emails over a certain amount, I don't know how you do connect to every single person. It's sort of it's what's called a parasocial relationship, where it's like, you guys know me better than I know you. Like, and it will always be that way because, you know, I've done like 1,000 pieces of content or something at this point. And so you will always know me better than I could ever know you. I wish it could be different. I don't think it can. Maybe there's a day where the audience is big enough that we do like meetups and shit like that. That would be fucking sick. A lot of you guys meet each other and that's fucking cool. I don't get jealous isn't the right word, but there is a part of me that's like, man, I can't wait to do that. Obviously I'm stuck here in Australia. Not stuck. I am here in Australia. I'll be moving probably 2025. I plan on, you know, renouncing my citizenship, or getting a dual citizenship. I'll probably just renounce my citizenship. I don't really like Australia. And I'll move somewhere else. But yeah, I wish I could be closer. I think we're pretty close though. I try and share with you guys as much as I possibly can. You guys are very open and very sharing, and I really fucking appreciate that. The comments, YouTube comments are always fucking amazing. The emails are fucking amazing. The guys on the forums, my God, those guys share so much. So I'll always respect that. I think we're a lot closer than, I try and be a lot closer than maybe other people are. And I think I'm quite happy to have a smaller audience. I don't want to have like a tiny audience, but I'm quite happy to have a smaller audience if it means I can be more connected to each one of you individually. So yeah, I do want to be more connected, but I think we do a pretty good job. You guys are very open and honest, and I try to be too. What are the biggest challenges you face in raising your children? So what are the biggest challenges in like helping you guys grow? Maybe I'd phrase it like that. Maybe the biggest challenge is getting you guys to understand, getting you guys to be nicer to yourselves, getting you guys to be more patient with the self-improvement game, getting you guys to understand that it's okay to fuck up sometimes, it's okay to have doubts, it's okay to look like an idiot and embarrass yourself. Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge. Okay, the biggest challenge is, like, from my point of view, with the vast majority of you, you're going to make it. Like, almost all of you are going to make it. Everyone will make it if you don't fucking quit. And the vast majority of you won't quit. So, like, the vast majority of you are going to make it. And I can see that. And I've been doing this for long enough to really know, like, it's so fucking painfully obvious to me when I see each of you, especially those of you who are taking action. It's like, okay, this guy's going to make it. But from your point of view, you have so many doubts because you're right in the middle of it. The same way I had a million doubts, even though Good Looking Loser, Caleb Jones, Mark Manson, all those people were telling me, you're going to make it, Andy. You know, and all the forum veterans on the Good Looking Loser forums were telling me, Andy, you're going to make it. But in my point of view, I was like, no, I'm not. Like, how am I going to fucking make it? I have too many doubts. I'm too much of a failure. I'm too much of a loser. You know, I don't look that good. All of this kind of shit. And so that's my biggest challenge, is getting what's in my head into your head. And the biggest thing that's in my head is like, yeah, just don't quit. You'll be fine. You're going to make it. Don't stress. It'll all work out. But it's very easy for me to see that as the guy who's in this position where I've seen so many of you make it, and I know what the keys to success are. Literally, the only keys to success are take a little bit of action every single day, give yourself permission to suck while you're getting better at this shit, and then just don't quit. You can even really just I'm not intentionally using that finger, but we'll use that finger. You can really distill it down to one thing, which is just don't quit. I wish I could get that across to you guys more, and that's my biggest challenge, is like, you guys will be fine, but it's hard for me to convince you of that. What do your children most enjoy playing? So what do you guys most enjoy playing? A lot of you would benefit from like chilling out more, honestly, and playing more and just being more fun and relaxing more, especially in my coaching programs, man. Like that, I think especially in there, and even on the forums as well. You guys on the forums tend to be very fucking like hardworking, but in my coaching program, it's like 50 steps. The most serious people on the forums are like the average guys in my coaching program. Like, my coaching program is fucking insane because you're charging so much money. You're specifically screening for guys who are just batshit insane and will do insane amounts of work and just like make me look lazy. And so the biggest challenge I get in there, and a little bit on the forums too, is like convincing guys to play a little more, to have a little more fun, to, when they're on a date, just enjoy the date, to have a day off once a week. And I highly recommend taking one day off a week, even half a day off a week. You have to do it. I do it every single week. This is supposed to be fun. And so I think for a lot of you, you would benefit from playing a little more, from having a little more fun. That doesn't mean being lazy. I'm not saying that. But from reminding yourself that this is all meant to be fun. Self-improvement is just a game. Life is just a game. You know, no one's going to score you at the end of it on how hard you worked. So you want to have fun along the way. As for what, you guys most enjoy playing, a bunch of you are fucking nerds like me, so you probably enjoy playing video games. I get that a lot. A lot of you do yoga and shit as well. I don't know if that counts as playing. I got like a fuck ton of people that do yoga. Like, almost everyone in my coaching program does yoga and shit. I don't know if that counts as playing. You guys don't tend to be super sporty. Leave a comment below, actually. You guys tell me, what do you guys enjoy playing? You're probably going to say fucking video games. I'm a big fan of Dota, Counter-Strike, but I'm obviously taking a year off from video games at this point in time. All right, let's move on. How often do you praise your children, and what do you typically praise them for? Yeah, I think I praise you guys a lot. I think I'm pretty good with praise. I'm a big fan of praise. In terms of like an audience, and especially like in coaching and stuff like that, you want to praise people. If you guys are ever trying to get someone to, improve themselves or do something, you have to do it with praise. And if you guys do have kids, yeah, you got to praise. Yes, you point out their mistakes, but you got to do it in a positive way. Like, hey, we can do this better, rather than like, oh my God, you fucked that up. And you want to be praising as much as you possibly can. For those of you who are just dating girls or just having casual relationships or maybe a serious relationship, praise is a fucking cheat code, man. If you can praise your girlfriend or even your casual fuck buddy like as often as you possibly can, that shit is a fucking game changer. Like, and praise her for what she does and who she is. Like, those are two separate things. So when she does something you really like, fucking praise the shit out of her for it, because that will make her want to do it again. And she goes, oh, he likes this. Cool. I know he likes this. I'm going to keep doing it. And praise her for who she is. Like, you know, you're a good person. You're very honest. I really appreciate you being honest with me and telling me. Praise is a fucking cheat code. It really is. Praise your mates as well. I praise my mates all the fucking time. I will send them random messages saying like, hey, bro, I really fucking respect your tenacity or your perseverance, bro. It's really inspiring. So praise as much as you can. I think I praise you guys like a lot. I don't think I need to praise you anymore. Like I could praise you more, but I think I do a pretty good job with that. And how do I? What do I typically praise you guys for? Achieving things, working hard. I think I'm pretty good at praising you guys when those of you who are at the start of your journey, like maybe you're a virgin, maybe you've never talked to any women in your entire life, maybe you've never started a business and you don't have any money, and you know. If you take one little baby step, I'm pretty good at praising you guys for that. I think one thing I do very well, or I'm very happy with how I do it, is praising people who are at the start of their journey. And I think those people need it the most. I certainly did. You got to praise the underdog, like when they're at the very beginning. The people on the forums are very fucking good at that. Everyone on the forums is very good at praising like newbies when they take one little step. Yeah, so I think that's something we as a community, this community does pretty well. I think we praise each other pretty fucking well. And as I said with one of the first questions, there's very little negativity. You guys are almost never fucking negative. The forums are never fucking negative. I'm never really that negative. So I think it's a pretty fucking positive place that we built. Do you teach your children how to handle finances? And if so, how? So do I teach you guys finances? Now, that's something that I haven't done a lot of content on, and I'm moving more in that direction, yeah. So anyone in my coaching program will know that I talk a shitload about finances. I think there's like 5, 6, 7, 8. Like 8, so more than half of the group at this point in time, my group coaching program, half of them are building businesses right now or already have their own business or something like that. And I do a bunch of content and we do a bunch of group coaching calls and shit on that. So I have lots to say about finances. I have lots to say about making money. I have lots to say about building a business. You know, I've obviously been building my coaching business for the last 3 or 4 years. I've made a million mistakes. I've learned a hell of a lot. If I'm going to give you, and so I'm going to do more content on that. If I'm going to give you the quickest tip, the most like instant 5-second tip, it's provide value. That is all that really matters. Help people, give them something, change their life, genuinely improve them. The only reason I get paid, the only reason people pay me for coaching is because I've helped you. I've changed your fucking life. I've given you some value. You know, I wrote the long fucking Tinder guide, poured my heart and soul into that. I've done all these videos. If you give value trying to help people, then they will pay you because, you know, you've helped them and they want to give back. And then it's like a really beautiful relationship. It doesn't feel like you're a business person. Like, it doesn't feel like I have a business. It just feels like I help a bunch of people and I get to do the content helping people, which feels incredibly fucking satisfying, by the way. And every now and then someone will email me and say, hey, can I please give you some money so you can coach me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, it doesn't feel like a business, and that's fucking amazing. I'm in a very beautiful position. So if you want some financial advice, give value. And that applies even if you just have a normal job, by the way. If you can give as much value as possible, be the best worker you can be, help your bosses and make their life easy, help your other staff, train other staff, and if someone new comes in, like, you know, pick them up and help them grow and all that, you get promoted for that shit. Like, you'll get promoted for that shit, trust me. Every job I've worked, I've gotten promoted because I've done all that shit, because I've tried to give value. So just do that. Do you often tell your children that you love them? Do I often tell you guys that I love you? I don't say I love you, but I say I'm grateful for you guys. I say that all the fucking time. I say I really appreciate you guys. I say I'm proud of you. I say I feel honored to walk amongst you. Yeah. I don't tell you I love you guys. I do love you guys, so there you go. What, in your opinion, is currently the greatest threat to your children in the modern world? Oh, my God. This is... So what do I think is the greatest threat to you guys? I know the answers you guys want me to say, but I don't think they're the actual greatest threat. You guys want me to say some form of like the Me Too movement or feminism or the media or authoritarian governments or fucking Russia or some shit. You want me to say some fucking that magical disease that we can't all talk about, or government lockdowns, or like you want me to say something like that, but that's not really the answer. No, I'll give two answers here. The actual answer of like the greatest threat to you is you. It's not the answer you're expecting me to give, but every single problem has a solution. All of the things that could be a threat to your happiness have solutions. And the only thing that'll stop you from finding those solutions is yourself, your own limiting beliefs. So honestly, the greatest threat is your own limiting beliefs. You're the only person that's going to stand in the way of your own happiness, not some external bullshit, not some fucking proxy war, not some fake fucking illness bullshit, not some lockdown crap, not some government shit. No, like the only thing that's going to stop you from happiness is yourself. So that's the truthful answer. If you want me to pick something in the modern world that's the greatest threat, I would say complacency. And so if you want me to give an actual like tangible thing, maybe your smartphone or Netflix or porn, something like that. So all those things, alcohol, all those things that make you feel complacent and comfortable, those are probably another threat. So, and again, that's you. You're the one that chooses to watch porn or to not minimize it. You're the one that chooses to drink alcohol. You're the one that chooses to watch Netflix. You're the one that chooses to tune into the news. So anything that makes you complacent and comfortable is going to stop you from reaching success, but that's on you. You have to stop those things. So you're the greatest threat to your future happiness. What do you think your audience are best at doing? Either taking action or being vulnerable. And that's probably a weird one that you didn't expect me to say. You guys are really fucking good at being honest. I'm actually impressed by how fucking honest and vulnerable all you guys are. It's insane. Like, especially given that you're all fucking men, right? And we men are not that good at or it takes a bit of practice for us to learn to open up. So yeah, I'm constantly impressed by how fucking open you guys are. Like, hey, I have this problem. Hey, can you help me with this? Hey, like I need this answer. Hey, I'm working on this. Hey, I'm a virgin. Hey, this. Hey, I'm an incel. Even the guys who make excuses and look like they're just complaining, like the guys who are like, oh, I'm short and I can't get laid. You're at least opening up about it, you know what I mean? And then I can yell at you and be like, no, you can get laid when you're short. And then you go, okay, maybe I'll try. That's you at least still fucking being open. So I'm constantly impressed by how open and honest you guys are and how vulnerable, how good you are at sharing. And then on top of that, you guys are really good at taking action. What gifts and talents do your audience have? How do you help them develop their gifts and talents? You guys are really intelligent, like ridiculously intelligent, very observant, very self-aware for the most part. We've screened out most of the unself-aware people. I've done that intentionally. So this is another one of those things where I said, in this episode, I'm going to be giving you some of the meta stuff that maybe you haven't thought about or you didn't know because I haven't talked about it. Yeah, I've deliberately screened out people of lower self-awareness. Yeah, I've put in a lot of effort to screen those people out. It's in the way I write my content. It's in the voice that I use. Like I said, I literally mute or don't reply to people who are clearly not self-aware or who are negative and stuff like that. So I've very hard screened for people who are self-aware. In my coaching program, I make people go through a questionnaire before they can sign up to check if they're self-aware. My forums, you have to sign a contract saying, I will take myself seriously. You have to open up and post about yourself and stuff like that. So I'm very hard screening for people who are self-aware. So you guys are very self-aware. What other talents do you guys have? You're very intelligent. I said that already. Hardworking, very disciplined. Funnily enough, a lot of you don't have natural talent with like getting laid and shit. I think it's because I'm a bit of a nerd and because with my story, I had to learn all that shit. And so I think that's obviously going to attract, you guys who are in a similar boat. Like, oh, I'm a bit of a nerd. I haven't always been great with women. Andy did it. I can do it too. Whereas if you look at other blogs like Good Looking Loser, most of his audience was more like the good-looking gym bro, like muscle, the guys who just hadn't really talked to women, but as soon as they do, they'll be good at it. Like they already have the physical appearance and shit like that. They're already hot. Girls already like them. And that's just because Good Looking Loser was like that. So yeah, those are the gifts I think you guys have. Intelligent, hardworking, maybe a little more nerdy, very self-aware, pretty social. Most of you are pretty social as well. I'll give you guys that. And nice. Most of you guys are fucking nice. I don't know if that's a gift or a talent, but most of you dudes are like really fucking nice people. Like I would have a beer with almost all of you. And again, that's something I've screened for as well. On the nice thing, there's a lot of stuff you do as a content creator that you guys wouldn't like realize until you actually start your own, blog or YouTube or something. Who you are and the voice you use and the way you speak and the qualities you have, your audience tends to mirror those things for a couple of reasons. First of all, because they'll be able to resonate with you. They'll come along and go, oh, this guy's pretty nice. I'm pretty nice. Oh shit, like I have a lot in common with him. And also, people will try and mirror, if they look up to you or if they like what you're saying or if they like your advice, they will mirror a lot of your personality traits because they'll go, okay, he's like this and he's done the thing that I want to do. So maybe I should try and mirror a little bit of his personality too. And so, because I did that with Good Looking Loser. I tried to be like like a frat bro. I tried to be more like a bro because that's who Good Looking Loser was. And thank God I got out of that stage. I'm not a good bro. But the point here is, you guys are pretty fucking nice. I don't know what fucking point I'm making there. But yeah, it's funny how when you're a content creator, you really see that you do cast a net of you bring in, you filter in people who are a lot like yourself. Like Imogen has said a million times, like your audience is exactly like you, Andy. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like most of you guys are like libertarians or you believe in freedom. You don't really believe in the government telling you what to do, Although I think that's more a self-improvement thing in general. It's hard to be into self-improvement if you think other people should be able to tell you what to do. I think most of you realize other people don't have your best interests at heart, and the only one who's going to have your best interests at heart is you. So what habits and character traits would you like your children to inherit from you? Oh, man, this question just feeds in from I swear to God, I didn't put these in that particular order. Okay, so as we were just saying, you guys take on some of my personality traits. That's natural. That's what happens when you follow someone's advice. I take on a lot of personality traits from my coaches, like a lot. It's just what we do. As for the ones I want you guys to inherit from me, most of you already have these anyway, but whatever, I'll just say them. Kindness, leaving the world better than you found it, being honest and open, taking action, being humble and accepting the fact that you're going to suck. And, when you start something new, you're going to suck. You don't have to be like an alpha male and all that shit. Trying to be trying to break free from your ego. That's another way of saying humble. Trying to let go of your negative feelings and emotions and stuff like that. I don't know if that's a character trait. So maybe self-aware. That's another one. As for the habits, I guess just the habits of doing something every single day, like the slight edge, that book I always talk about, just doing something every single day. That's a good habit. The habit of like being honest. That's a habit. Yeah, those are the ones I want you guys to get from me. Which ones don't you want to pass on? Ooh, that's a good question. I can be lazy. I can be very lazy. I don't want to pass that on to you guys. And that's something that I have to find a balancing act. When I give you guys permission to suck, and when I say, just do a little bit every day, I have to sort of balance that with not going so far in that direction that you do almost nothing every day and then go, well, I did, I got up and I made my bed today and that's it. That's all I did. I just made my bed. That's it. Like, I would give you credit for at least still doing something, but like I would want you to do a little more than just making your bed. Unless you're like literally fucking depressed and you're at, ground zero, fine, just make your bed, but aim to do a little more tomorrow. But yeah, me, myself, sometimes I fall into that trap too, where I'll do just the bare minimum. Like I'll go to the gym. I'll literally just go to the gym and then I'll say, that's all I have to do today. And then I'll just waste the rest of the day. And then I'll go like, I don't think, I get to work from home. I get to, run my own coaching business. I have all the free time in the world. I don't think it's okay that I just went to. It's okay that I went to the gym, but like I could do a little more than that. I could do a lot more than that. So there are sometimes I fall into the trap of laziness. I'm pretty good at it these days. That only happens like once every, God, I don't know, once a month. It comes in waves. I'll do it for a couple of days and then I'll go, what am I doing? I'm being lazy. So that's one trait I don't want to pass on to you guys, laziness. What's another one? I don't know, because I'm pretty self-accepting with my habits and my character traits. Like, there's nothing I beat myself up on. There's nothing I really don't like about myself. Because if there was anything I didn't like about myself, I'd fix it. And I should say I have fixed it. So if we went back like a couple of years ago, there'd be a lot of answers to this question. I'd say I was highly neurotic. I was very insecure. I was very ego-driven. I felt the need to defend myself. Okay, here you go. Here's one I could say. I'm not brilliant at confrontations. That's something I'm working on. Funnily enough, the last 2 years with all the lockdowns and government laws and shit have improved my ability to be in confrontations. Like we literally had confrontations with police and shit because they're like, why aren't you wearing a mask and shit? So I had to learn to deal with that shit. But yeah, I think that's something I'm probably not great at, but I'm improving it. So yeah, we'll just say laziness. Laziness is the one I definitely don't want. I can be very lazy. You know, I wrote that article saying willpower and discipline don't matter. And I basically talked about like, even if you're a lazy piece of shit like me, like I'm really fucking lazy, you guys, you can still do a lot of shit. You can. You just have to be more measured in how you make yourself do things or how you push yourself to do things. So I have to do a to-do list every single day. I write down a bunch of things that I'm going to do that day. I actually write it the night before for tomorrow. And I will go through and just tick everything off there. And that way I know, even if I'm lazy, I still did everything on my to-do list, and I make sure what I put on the to-do list is enough that I would be happy with. So like today it was record 2 podcasts, go to the gym, do a coaching call, record a YouTube video on top of the 2 podcasts, make notes for 3 more podcasts, write 1 article for my website. I said the gym already, didn't I? Stick to calories, clean the house. What else did I have? I had a bunch of other errands and shit that I had to do. Go on Meetup. You know, I'm in the process of making a couple of extra friends because I've only got like 5 friends or something here. So I got all that shit done. I was pretty fucking lazy today. Oh, and then a bunch of walking because I'm cutting. So I had to walk like 15,000 steps or something, and read my book for an hour. So all that's pretty easy shit. Like none of that was really hard. I've already done it all. It's like 6 p.m. here. I've already done it all. So, but the point there is I just do the to-do list. And even if it's an easy day, I get to say, look, I did all this shit. Yeah, it's pretty easy. So even lazy ask me, a to-do list has saved me. So if you're a lazy prick, use a to-do list every day. Write it the night before. I like to do that. Yeah. Do I help my audience with time management, e.g. prioritizing things, sports, leisure, hobbies, entertainment, etc.? Yeah, I've done a bit of content on time management. As I said before, I recommend you guys have 1 day off a week or half a day off a week. I tend to help people more with time management when they're in my coaching program. Then it's like I literally have to because they're only in the program for 12 weeks. And it's like, I want you to get really efficient. I want you to make the most of your time and all that sort of shit. So I can do more videos on that. I've done videos on like how to make progress, like the slight edge, how to set goals, how to work on your goals. If you guys have any questions on time management or prioritizing shit, leave them in the description below. Sorry, in the comment section below. Just ask me whatever the fuck you want. I'll probably do a podcast or a video or something on it. Do I help my audience grow spiritually? How important is this to you? Okay, this is a good fucking question. So those of you who are in my coaching program, you know that I don't shut the fuck up about, I wouldn't call it spirituality, but like inner peace or enlightenment or figuring out your purpose and your meaning of life, figuring out the greater, like why you're here. We have even had several group coaching calls where we talk for like 2 hours about like, who's afraid of death, right? Are you guys afraid of death? Let's uncover that. Let's go through, because if you don't embrace your fear of death, it's hard to really live. I know that sounds cliche, but I've done a lot of content on spirituality and enlightenment and shit like that. I've already written a bunch of notes for podcasts that I'm going to do over the next, I don't know, let's say next year on this channel and on my Spotify and on my website about enlightenment, finding out your purpose, what comes after getting laid, all those kind of questions, like finding inner peace, meditating, LSD and trips like that, figuring out whether or not you believe in God or a higher power, or if you think this is all a simulation, or like whatever or if these questions even matter, because you're never going to be able to answer them. You can't tell me if there's God. You can tell me you believe in God, but you can't tell me categorically there's a God. So just like I can't categorically tell you there's not. So yeah, I'll be talking through more questions like this. If you guys want me to do any questions on like spirituality or enlightenment or purpose or meaning of life, leave a comment below. This is a topic, like I said, that I talk a lot about in my coaching programs. I just haven't sat down and done podcasts on it yet or YouTube videos on it yet, but I really this is a very, very, very interesting sort of topic. If you want books to help with this shit, start with anything Stoicism related. Funnily enough, Stoicism shit is pretty good with like spirituality and enlightenment. Buddhism, most Buddhism books are really fucking good. And I'm giving you things deliberately that aren't religious. You know, if you're someone that doesn't believe in religion or you don't like religion or whatever else, I tend to come at it from like, okay, like a self-improvement point of view, like reaching spirituality so that you can, or figuring out what spirituality means to you so that you can be a better person, so that you can grow, rather than like, oh, you have to believe in the Bible. Like, no. There's also books like Letting Go by David Hawkins. That's a really good book. Love is Letting Go of Nothing. The Greatest Secret is a pretty good book on spirituality. Just start down that rabbit hole and then read books that are similar to those. That's a decent starting place. So Stoicism, those books that I just gave you, Buddhism, stuff like that. But yeah, if you guys have questions on enlightenment or spirituality or inner peace or mental happiness or being more resilient or letting go of your ego or not being so emotionally driven, Stoicism helps with that. Yeah, just leave a comment below and I'll do some topics. I'll do some podcasts. What goals do I want to achieve in raising my children? So what goals do I want to achieve in, I guess, helping you guys or maybe building my audience? I want you guys to be happy, honestly. If I can make as many of you as happy as possible, that would make me happy. That's kind of just the general vague answer there. In terms of like shorter goals, I want to be able to do it more. Sorry, in terms of more like tangible goals, I want to be able to do it more efficiently. So I'm working on some video courses. I'm pushing my group coaching more than my one-on-one coaching, because one of the problems with doing one-on-one coaching is you're literally just helping one, like it's a one-on-one call. But the group calls, it's like you can have like 15 people on the call at once and you can be going through all their questions and they help each other and you help them, and it's easier to reach a bigger audience. But maybe I'd like to write a book at one point. I've talked about this with a few different people, that I basically want my website to be like a free university where you would come and, you know, there's like 100,000 fucking articles, maybe not that many. There's like 500 articles on getting laid, 500 articles on relationships and love and, you know, that sort of thing. 500 articles on stoicism and mental health and enlightenment and peace and happiness and all of that. 500 articles on business and how to make money and how to get a promotion and how to quit your job if you hate your job and how to go for what you want. You know, articles on making friends, articles on losing weight. I've done bits and pieces on all these topics. Like I've written maybe 20 articles on most of these things, these different topics. So you can search my website for those. And, you know, I've done videos and podcasts and shit, but I'd like to eventually have like a full on fucking basically university, like literally 5,000 articles in total. And any topic that you could ever think of, you just go onto my website, hit the search button and find it. And all of that would obviously be free. I hate the idea of like charging money for that. I'll just make money through coaching or maybe through video courses and books and shit like that. But yeah, that's the goal I want to achieve eventually, is that, so basically here's the vision. No matter what problem someone has, there's a solution for it that I've written, or I can direct them somewhere else, like a book or something they can go and read to find the solution. I hate the idea of someone suffering and thinking like, man, I don't know how to solve this problem. That's what I'm trying to fix. I want it so that no one ever sits there and goes like, I don't know how to solve this problem. I'm depressed and miserable. It's like, no, I got you, fam. So yeah, that's my goal. What concerns me most about my audience today? Oh, nothing really concerns me. I don't ever see you guys do anything that concerns me. You know what I mean? But to give an actual answer, God, I almost have to make up an answer. I really am not concerned about you guys. Like, you all take action. You're all very honest. Yeah, some of you are at the very beginning, but as long as you don't quit, you're going to make it. What concerns me? Maybe that some of you guys beat yourself up. Some of you compare yourself to others. There you go. Maybe that's, and that doesn't concern me because that's like the shit that I did at the start. So it doesn't concern me. It's very normal. But if there was one thing I could maybe influence you guys or get you to change, it would be stop comparing yourself to others. And sure as shit, don't compare yourself to me. You can if you want to say like, oh, I want to do the shit Andy's done, but you don't get to compare yourself and beat yourself up. Remember, I've been doing self-improvement for like fucking 8 years or something at this point. So, and longer if you count when I was getting over my depression when I was in my early 20s and shit. So, yeah, don't compare yourself to someone that's been doing this for a stupidly long time. That's really dumb. And I get it. I compare myself to other people. I compare myself to Caleb Jones and shit. And then I'll remind myself like, Andy, Caleb Jones has had his website for like 16 years. Of course he has more content than you. Of course he has paid video courses and he has lots of passive income and he has more money and he's changing more lives and he helps more people. Of course, he's been doing it for 16 years. You've been doing it for like 3. Calm the fuck down. So I understand comparing yourself. We all kind of do it, but try and do it a little less. Or when you do it, remind yourself like, it's okay. I'm my own person. I'm on my own fucking journey. Yes, this person is ahead of me. Cool. I'll use them for inspiration, but I'll get there eventually. So I'm going to chill the fuck out. Describe your audience in 3 words. Ooh. Intelligent, that's the one that comes to mind first. Open and vulnerable. I know that's 2 words, so fine, I'll just say open. Honorable. Either honorable or respectable. One of those 2 words. Yeah. Maybe respectable. I respect you guys. You guys are worth respecting. Honorable. Maybe honorable is the right one. Virtuous. Maybe virtuous. And I don't mean, oh man, virtuous has such a fucking bad rap now because all the fucking virtue signaling. I mean it if any of you have read like Atlas Shrugged. So I mean like you're principled. Maybe I'd say principled. You guys have principles. What gifts would your audience enjoy the most? I don't know. What gifts do you guys want? Maybe the only gift I can give you is like content. So if you guys have any content you want me to do, anything, leave a link, leave a question or in the comment section. Just ask me and I'll do it. That can be my gift to you. If there's a particular topic you would like me to cover or something, that's like the best gift I can give you. What gifts would you enjoy the most? I don't know. Free gym membership? I don't fucking know. Pussy? Sex? Yeah, but you want to earn sex. You don't just want a gift of sex. So I don't know. What gifts do you guys want? Do you guys want a gift? Can I even give you guys a gift? I tell you what. How about we do this? No shit. The first person that leaves a comment to this video and tells me what gift you want, I will get in contact with you. I'll probably just message you through your... I'll probably just message you through your YouTube account. I will send you the gift. As long as it's less than $50 in value, I will give you a gift of whatever the fuck you want. And you'll have to tell me your like delivery address. You can tell it to me privately. And I will give you a gift of it has to be less than $50. I'll pay whatever the shipping costs. That's fine. As long as the shipping's not like $100 fucking dollars or something stupid. I will pay for whatever gift you want for the first person that replies and tells me what the gift is. And you might have to remind me that I said this because I record some of these videos. This video probably isn't going to go out for another month. So by the time you're watching this, I would have recorded this video probably a month ago. And I'm probably not going to remember that I said this. I'll remember if you remind me. So to summarize, leave a comment. Tell me, hey, Andy, you promised that you would send me a gift if I was the first person to reply. Here is the gift that I want. And then you're probably not going to tell me your shipping address in the fucking comment, but just either get in contact with me or I'll just reply to you. So just leave that comment. I promise you I will give a gift to the first person that asked. There you go. That's my good fucking deed for the day. And it has to be a gift that I can get. Maybe we make that more obvious. You can't ask me for like a dolphin or something. I'm not getting you a fucking dolphin. I'll get you a toy dolphin. Yeah, so it has to be something that I could like get. Don't say like, I want you to get me Elon Musk's phone number. I'm going to say like, go fuck yourself. What would you like to change in your relationship with your children in the near future? So what would I like to change in my relationship with you guys in the future? Again, it probably ties back to the answer I gave before. I wish I could be closer to you guys, but I don't fully know how to do it. Actually, that's not true. I know ways to do that. So we did the live stream a while ago, and that I felt very close to you guys in that. I liked that. So I think me doing more live streams in the future, that's probably something I'd like to change with you guys. More like actual, like you guys are there in the live chat. It was really cool. There was like 50 of you or something that came. And you're all like writing questions. I honestly thought like 2 people were going to come. I was so terrified that like 2 of you were going to come and it was just going to be like embarrassing and humiliating for me. But yeah, like 30 or 50 of you came, had a bunch of different questions. I was there for like 3 hours or some shit answering questions. It was fucking awesome. I'd love to do that. I don't know if I'll ever do this, but I've always thought it would be cool to fucking be a Twitch streamer or just like stream a couple of times. I could stream on YouTube. I wouldn't have to do it on Twitch and just like play fucking video games and hang out with you guys. I'll obviously have to do that after this year because I'm taking a year off from video games. But yeah, I'd love to do something like that. That'd be cool. Like just hanging out with you guys. I'd like to hang out with you guys more. I'd like to do that in person too at some point. So leave a comment below if you want me to do another live stream like we did before, because that was really fun. I enjoyed that. Next one. Is it easy for you to apologize to your children, so to you guys, when you feel that you are wrong? By the way, I hope you guys don't find it patronizing that I keep saying children. I don't think you're fucking children, but I just thought that these cards were really interesting how they apply to like audience, or I can answer them replacing the word children with audience. So is it easy for me to apologize to my audience when I feel that I'm wrong? I'm never going to do an apology video, by the way. I don't think I have anything to apologize for. I can't. If you're living a life that's in line with your principles and values, you should never really need to apologize for anything. And if you're loving and patient with yourself and you understand that sometimes you're going to get things wrong, sometimes you're going to make mistakes, you are just human, there would never be a time you need to apologize. Now, you can admit a mistake. You can, rectify something, come in and fix it. You can come in and say, I could have done that way better. I think I made a mistake here. I think I shouldn't have said this. I take that back. I'm going to rescind that. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. But I'm so confused that we live in a fucking weird culture where everyone apologizes. And like the hate mob comes for you and says like, oh my God, Joe Rogan said nigger. It's like, there you go. Andy just said nigger. You should probably cancel him. Joe Rogan said nigger on a podcast a while ago. We got to fucking like demonetize him. And like he has to come out and say, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, why not just come out and say like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. There you go. Like, why do I need to say sorry? Sorry is what you say when you're a fucking child. And even then, if I had kids, I would never make them say sorry. Because sorry is guilt and shame. Sorry is just a word. Sorry doesn't fix anything. It's a cute little fucking five-letter word that we say when we're trying to get out of something. If you were actually sorry, you would change something. If you were actually sorry, you would fix it. Or you would act differently in the future, or you would point out how you're now a different person, and so that old thing doesn't apply, so it's all good. You don't have to worry about it. But saying sorry just takes all responsibility away from you. Sorry is something you say to get out of trouble. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's okay. He said sorry. What has he done to fix it? Nothing. He said sorry, so that's good enough. So I will never fucking apologize for anything. I'm not someone that apologizes anyway. Like if you knew me in person, you'd say like, Imogen says all the time, Andy never says sorry. He's not capable of saying the word sorry. No, sorry doesn't fix anything. If I made a mistake, I will fucking fix that. I will get in there and say, look, this can't happen again. I fucked up. Here's how I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen again. Here, I'm changing this and this and this and this to make sure it never happens again. Or I will tell the person that I'm grateful for their patience. Like I will say, I'm really fucking grateful that you're not mad about this or that you've given me a chance to fix it. I'm grateful that you're being patient with me on this as I fix it and make sure it doesn't happen again. But yeah, saying sorry is a fucking cop-out. It's a fucking pussy bullshit thing that everyone says now in the current modern, woke society where you can just say sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I said a bad word. I'm sorry. Why do you even care that someone said a bad word? Words are just words. Does your family have any criteria for choosing movies for kids? Why or why not? How am I going to answer that in context of you guys? So how do I guess I could say, how do I choose what I recommend to you guys. Maybe I'll phrase it like that, like what books I recommend to you guys. Well, I don't really recommend any pop culture or anything like that to you guys. Pretty much all I recommend is like self-help books or self-help websites, or I guess I do recommend like some every now and then, like once every 6 months, I'll recommend some funny YouTube channels. So in terms of the criteria for how I'd recommend any of that, maybe a better question is, how do I recommend, what shit do I recommend to my friends? Because I recommend like YouTube and shit, like YouTube channels and shit like that to my friends, more so than I do with you guys. I will always choose something where the person is not negative. I will always choose something where I think, and I only watch something where I think the person has a good outlook on life and they're not like miserable and grumpy. They have a lot of like, I don't know if you'd call it love. I don't follow anyone who I think has hatred inside them. That includes even people who are like, there are some people who do like, what would you call it? Like anti-feminist, like anti-woke YouTube channels. I don't really watch any of those because most of those are very like, the person's very angry or bitter or frustrated or full of rage. And I kind of understand that. But then at the same time, like I don't, because you're just choosing to dwell on that shit and make yourself more miserable. So if I ever recommend something, it's got to be positive. It's got to leave you feeling better after you watch it. I don't watch any horror movies for that. I really don't ever like horror movies. I don't watch that many sad movies unless they have an actual point. And I could learn something from it. Yeah, generally all the stuff I ingest, all the pop culture, all the entertainment products, all the stuff I consume is positive and I have to learn something from it. I don't really ever watch something mindlessly. I watch a few things mindlessly, like a few video game channels, but even when I watch them, they have to make a point. Like, I don't just watch like let's plays of someone watching like playing a game. I will watch like a strategy channel of someone talking about how to get better at the game, even if it's a game I don't play, because I find that interesting. I find it fascinating to see how their mind works, to see how they improve, how they attack the process of self-improvement. So yeah, pretty much everything I watch has to have a point to it. Imogen's always saying like all the movies and shit that I watch, I only watch ones that have a point, even if it's like entertainment or something. Even when I watch some shitty popcorn entertainment, like all the Marvel movies, I will then go and talk to her or someone else, my mates, for like an hour or two afterwards, like breaking down points. Hey, like, did you see how Iron Man sacrificed himself and did all this? Like, blah, 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 blah. And I will like make a point from that and try and apply it to my own life. So I generally speaking pick stuff that I think has a good message. And you don't have to be like that. Like, I'm not saying that you can't watch stuff that's not mindless entertainment. You guys can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm just saying I don't get much out of something if I don't dig deeper and try and see a hidden message. I've never been one who can just like shut my brain off and just sort of watch something like mindlessly. I don't think I'm capable of that. Maybe I'm fucking autistic. I do plan on taking an autism test at some point. I'm pretty sure I'm going to score autistic on that test. And probably ADHD too. Let's just self-diagnose, guys, because that's fun. How often do you pray with your children, and how? How often do I pray? How would we answer that question? Because we don't really pray. You guys aren't religious with me. Maybe we answer that in terms of like, I don't know. How would we answer that question? How often do we fucking try and, I guess you can say self-improvement is a religion. It is in some ways. We've definitely all dedicated ourselves to it. It's kind of like a cult. You don't really want to leave. You can leave, by the way, but that's not even true. You guys can't leave. Like, how are you going to stop improving yourself once you've started? You can't. Like, you're stuck in that for life. So how do we pray? I guess we pray every single day to the self-improvement gods. We go to the gym. We worship in the temple of the iron. We go outside and talk to a bunch of girls and pray that one of them will fuck us. I guess we do some praying. It's not really praying, but you guys get what I mean. All right. I will wrap up there. We're at an hour, and I have finished all the questions. That was fun. That was kind of fun. I hope you guys got something out of this. I'm going to go through more of the questions, but in a relationship sense. So I'm going to go through all the relationshipy ones, because remember this box, this fun little Verprushki card game is mostly about relationship questions, and I am going to do more content on relationships. So those of you who are in a relationship or thinking about getting into one, or maybe you're dating a girl, but you're starting to really like each other, this card game, these questions are really good fucking questions for you to ask each other. And so I will basically read out a bunch of questions and explain why they're good questions. Maybe I'll even get Imogen on here and we can answer some of them together, but I think it's better if I just read you out a bunch of different questions and you guys can ask your partner or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your non-binary friend those questions. Now, as for buying this fucking thing, I don't know where the fuck my friend got this from, but I've tried to search this. You can search for Vrproshki if you want yourself. You're going to see nothing comes up. And he basically just bought it from some friend in Ukraine. And I have no idea where the fuck he got it from, and he can't tell me. So I'm going to dig deeper and see if I can find it. But if not, don't stress, because like I said, I'm just going to do a video where I read out most of the questions anyway, so you guys can just use that video to ask your partner. You don't have to have the card game, but if I can find it, I'll definitely give it to you guys, because it's a fucking amazing card game. It'll definitely make you and your girlfriend or boyfriend feel a lot closer. It's pretty fucking good. So I will wrap up there, guys. Hope you got something out of this. As always, go crush your damn goals.